right, young lady. Come in now. Good. Tell me something. What made you think you were good enough? What on earth gave you that idea?
I've won prizes.
Really? What for?
Riding.
Oh, well. Wouldn't exactly call it riding, would we? Staying on a horse, perhaps. And tell me, where did you learn what you call riding?
Arizona.
Oh, in the colonies, yeah. Oh, that explains it, doesn't it? Oh, well. You realize that they don't admit cowboys to the Olympics, don't you? I want to say one thing, though. You've somehow managed to get yourself a promising horse. Yeah. It's your promise we're talking about, though, isn't it? You have to go back to the beginning and start from scratch. You're not going to cry, are you?
No.
Good. Two things I can't stand in life, bad losers and criers. Now, when I take somebody, if I take somebody, they come on my terms and they work my way. My way happens to be quite frightening to most people. Had you heard that? Well, you're hearing it now. No nonsense, no temperament, no alibis, and certainly no question of my admitting that I'm ever wrong. Just hard work, very few compliments, lots of shouting, occasional bad language for which I never apologize, and total dedication, like the ballet. Now, are your parents rich?
My parents are dead.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry about that. Who looks after you then?
My aunt.
I see. Is she well healed?
I don't know.
Well, you'd better find out. This isn't a cheap sport, you understand? And you get precious little help from the general public. They like us to win medals for them, but they don't like to pay, do they? Yeah. So, you'd better have a chat with your aunt and then give me a phone call and tell me when you can start.
When I can start?
Yes. Isn't that what I said?
Does that mean you're gonna take me?
I'm not going to take your aunt. One of you is enough. I dare say we'll make something of you in due course. You're not too bad for a cowboy. Give me a phone call.
No, 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 no. Come on. Stop. Now start again. This is dressage. It's meant to be like a ballet, Mr. Clark, not a barn dance. You're like a pregnant Tom Mix. Don't ask me who Tom Mix was. It's all too long ago and I can't remember. Right, once more, and not with feeling. Please spare me that. Now, some of you may have come here with the impression that dressage is frightfully boring compared to the greater glories of the cross-country event. That's because you all lack sophistication, amongst other things. The origins of dressage, however, are very deeply rooted in the classical tradition. So you just have to approach every dressage test as if it were a concerto of Bach. That's Bach as in the German composer, Mr. Armstrong, not Bach as in dog. Now, to perform it well, you also have to have an appreciation, not only of my subtle wit and whimsical humor, but an appreciation of the beauty of form, the marriage of man and beast. It's an emotional experience, but emotion under control. I hope you're suitably impressed by the quality of my language, Miss Godfrey. Not just a pretty face. Do you understand? Now, we come to the cross-country event. The cross-country event is considered by some, Miss Brown, to be an opportunity to display carefree abandon. This is a mistake for which I would cheerfully reintroduce capital punishment. It is a test of brains. And since horses are only marginally less stupid than some of the people who ride them, an observation which carries with it the experience of a lifetime, I would urge you not to sit on your brains, but to use them. You see, there was a very interesting, very wise Frenchman once, and he had a great deal to do with our Olympic Games. His name was Coubertin, Baron de Coubertin. He was an interesting fellow. And he said, what is important, and I can't quote him exactly, of course, but he said, what is important in the games is not the winning, but the taking part. Just as in life, the most important thing is not the triumph, but the struggle. In other words, not to have conquered, but to have fought well. You see?
Well, I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but that's what he said. Makes an awful lot of sense to me.